Hey there, I'm Carter, part of the PicsArt community team. Here at PicsArt, we give you the tools to make really impressive photo edits surprisingly easy. If other photo apps are all about capture and share, PicsArt is all about capture, create, and share. We're in the business of beautifying the world, and we want people from all over to do that together. If you're anything like me, you really want to create impressive images without the hassle of super complicated and often expensive software, or having to jump between 5 different apps. Luckily, PicsArt is a simple, all-in-one tool that makes creating those impressive images a joy instead of a chore. And it's free. What sets PicsArt apart is that we're all about creation and the coming together of artists of every level of experience. Our community of 65 million users range from the amateur photographer and hobbyist photo editor to professional painters. They help each other by giving feedback and offer up their shots to be used as a hashtag free-to-edit image. When people use the free-to-edit hashtag, they're inviting the rest of the community to make a piece of their art and make it their own. Hashtag free-to-edit images are all about co-creation, and I'm constantly impressed with how many different scenes are created from one original image. Drawers, doodlers, editors, photographers, graphic designers, and even people who don't create themselves but want to be inspired, they're all welcome here. PicsArt is a place where anyone can become an artist. Within our app, you'll find a daily dose of carefully curated content that can spur you to create your own work with the help of one of our mini tutorials, or simply put a smile on your face. When you share your own content, you'll be able to see how many views it receives to know just how far your images can go. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you a lot of cool stuff. I'll show you where to find inspiration, demo our editing features, and show you how to use our drawing suite. At the end, I'll show you how our users combine all of those tools to create awesome images. So stay tuned, because you won't want to miss learning a thing that PicsArt has to offer. So let's take a look at what PicsArt is all about. If you're looking for inspiration, the Explore page has it. Every day we have a new concept for you to try out with the rest of the PicsArt community, new tags to follow, and hints and tips. This is also where our community posts their free-to-edit images, which are images that allow others to edit your art and makes PicsArt your new creative playground. If you're looking for new and interesting artists to follow, the artist page is where we deliver the top artists in a variety of categories so that you can see how other people are beautifying the world around them. Every week, we bring you new challenges that test your skills or help you learn new things. Creativity is more than just a filter, and our contests will test your editing prowess. Practice, experiment, and enjoy creating with our other global community members. The My Network page is all yours. Tap on the My Network icon to see photos from those you follow and leave comments, likes, and reposts on your favorite images. PicsArt is also your own mobile portfolio. Your profile page contains a beautiful selection of your images and shows other people the collections you've created, called memboxes. Now that you have an idea of what we're all about, let's dive right into our editor and make a still life scene a little more interesting. This example will give you an overview of several of PicsArt's most popular editing tools. All right, so first I'm going to hit the edit button and open up a photo from my gallery. Let's take this photo of the desk right here. So first thing I notice that there's something in the bottom left I don't want. So I'm going to hit Tool and then go to Clone. And here you can see the reticle. When it's blue, that means it's what I'm going to erase. So then just tap the reticle again, select a section that you want to copy and clone, and hit the Done button. Next, I'm going to go back to Tool, and I'm going to go to Crop. So I don't like, there we go. We'll clean it up just a little bit. Don't forget to hit that Done tool. Next, I'm going to scroll down on the right-hand toolbar and go to Clip Art. Going to grab the Zentangle art right here. So once you add a clip art, you can edit and rotate and transform it however you want. So I'm going to drag it over here, try to make the desk look a little bit more interesting. Right, yeah, there. Next, we're just going to hit the paintbrush over here and then the eraser. And I'm actually going to erase parts of the clip art that I don't want. So I don't want it over the iPad, and I don't want it over the iPhone or the plant. So just erase. You can play with the brush hardness from the brush settings as well as the size. All right, cool. Hit the little Done button up in the top right. And then I'm going to go to Effects. Here where you can find all of our filters. And I'm just going to grab the Dodger effect really cool to make it a little bit more muted. You can then hit that little wheel right there to make the fade all the way down to 0 so that you get a more dramatic effect. Hit Done again, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a mask. So from the right-hand side, click Mask, and then I'm going to go to Lights, scroll down to find one that I like. Maybe light 9 will be what I want. All right, cool. So then you can mess with the opacity here. Again, you can flip and rotate it, make it a little bit less opaque than it originally was. Yeah, right there will be good. Hit the gear again to take a look, and then click Done. All right, next I want to do is I want to share it. You can share it anywhere, but today we're going to share to PicsArt. And make a little caption here. Let's say, create something beautiful. There we go. That's what we're all about. Done, done, and it's posted. All right, so now let's take a look at some other edits by turning a normal cup of coffee into something a little bit more magical. All right, so this time the first thing we want to do is tap on that collage right there. And we're going to hit background. This will take you right into our backgrounds, and we're going to pick a really cool galaxy. So I'll pick the one on the left. From here, we're going to go to Tool, and then Adjust. Our adjustment tools will be on the right, and we're going to use Hue to change the color. So using that slider on the right, you'll just go up and down, make it into something a little bit blue and purple, and then click the Download button on the left. That'll save it to your phone. Then we'll just click Done, close out of the image. And now we're going to open up a photo and draw. So just hit the draw and then photo. We're going to use this photo of a coffee cup that I took earlier. So that's going to open right up. You can crop it if you want to. We don't. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a photo in the top right. So add the photo. We're going to use the galaxy that we just did. Again, don't need to crop this one. So then we hit the layer in the top right. It looks like a stack. And bring the opacity down at that layer. Your photo is now a separate layer within the app. You can transform this and move it around. We're going to bring it right on top of the coffee cup and use the eraser in the right-hand toolbar to make sure that only the galaxy is fitting in the cup. Zooming in, you can make sure that it's what you want. Next, we're going to hit in the top right again with layers, and we're going to copy the layer that's selected. So that'll double the galaxy again. You can see the overlay tools in the bottom left, or the bottom right, rather. So then we're going to hit screen, and that's sort of going to remove a lot of the darkness from this image and let the stars really shine through. Bring up the opacity, transform that layer, make it a little bit bigger, make sure that the galaxy is like spilling out of the cup. Click Done, and we're going to add, I think there could be more galaxy here. So let's add another layer in the top right, empty layer, use the add photo again in the top right. So add a photo, we're going to select our galaxy one more time. Transform it. So we're going to go into the overlay again, and we're going to hit screen. So that's exactly what we just did, and see how it takes away the darkness. Then we're going to hit on the eraser to take away some of the sharp edges, but I think it could be a little bit darker. So let's add another layer of that by copying it, and then clicking the overlay tool. So this way, it's a little bit more dark, but not as dark as it would have been if we just added it right away. Erase the edges there just a little bit more. All right, so then we're going to add another layer here. So just hit empty layer by hitting the plus button next to the trash can. And this time we're going to add a clip art. So PicsArt has all kinds of clip arts, but we're going to use this geometric pattern here to sort of make it feel more spacey. So just like last time, when you added a clip art, you can transform it and rotate it around. We're going to erase this part of it here so it looks like it's really coming out of the coffee cup. All right, cool. I like that. So then we're going to click Done in the top left, and that's going to make you save your photo. And then when you save your photo from Draw, it's going to take you straight to the editor. And so then we're going to go into Effect. And this time, instead of using a filter, we're going to use an artistic effect. We'll use Polygon since we're being all space age right now. We use Polygon, if you hit the brush in the top, you'll be able to actually erase the effect away. So we're going to erase the coffee cup and make sure that we get that cool galaxy we had. Click Done, and then all we do is click the little download button in the top left, and now we've saved our photo. That's it. Pretty cool, right? So remember when I said that we're in the business of beautifying the world? Well, that's actually the mission of PicsArt. All of these tools are here because we want to give people the ability to create the world that they find most inspiring. The world is made more beautiful by people being able to express their vision, and PicsArt helps you do that on the go. We want to give freedom to your creativity and make the world a more beautiful place to live in. We are inspired to inspire people to create amazing artwork, which inspires others to create amazing artwork, which sets forth an inspiration create loop that we hope never ends. Imagine how wonderful it will be when our world is filled with beauty, created and shared by billions of people, just like you and me. PicsArt has photographers who see their images transformed into dreamscapes, artists who do paintings of other users, and a slew of students using PicsArt as their digital portfolios. We believe that art can change people, making them kinder and tolerant, erasing borders and spreading happiness. Regardless of the time and place, when the inspiration hits, PicsArt is always in your pocket so that you're equipped to create. Everyone is creative, and we all have an artist in us waiting to be revealed. This is why we started PicsArt, beautifying the world whenever and wherever inspiration hits. Another way that you can easily beautify the world around you is by doodling on it. So let's take a look at how you can use PicsArt to draw on your images, which is one of the many ways you can use our drawing features, but we think this one's a fun one. So let's dive in. All right, so for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to draw on top of a photo, like a little doodle. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to draw, and we're going to use a photo as our background. We're going to use this photo of a forest. We're going to crop it just a little bit. Yeah, make those trees the center point. And so now we're in a drawing suite. And so the brushes on the right, you can select the color. We're going to use white here. Go to draw mode, and then we're going to pick the brush we want. All right, so we're going to hit this brush here, change the size of it. You can change the opacity as well. So then we're going to go into layers, and you can tell that we're painting on a new layer now, so that we can always erase and go back and just erase the parts of it we want to instead of the whole image. So today I'm going to draw some rhinos in the forest because that's what I feel like drawing. I like rhinos, I like forests, so we'll just go through here. And this is just a quick sketch. So you can use this exactly how you use pencil on paper. So you do a light little sketch first. You can always erase it later, just get the form there. So here are my rhinos. I'm going to go up to the layers in the top right again, and I'm going to decrease the opacity so that I can do a better drawing on top of them. Make it a little bit less there. All right. So next I'm going to actually add another layer to it. So add a layer, we'll do an empty layer because we're going to draw on it again. And this will make sense here in a second when we start erasing things. But layers are really important when you're using drawing tools. So then we're going to go back into the paintbrush again and see we're just going to trace over the little doodle I did earlier. And so these will be our final lines. Yeah, just trace over it. So this is exactly what you would do if you were just sketching in a notebook. And that's exactly what we want it to feel like. If you want to, you can use any stylus you want. We have an integration with Pencil for iOS that'll make this a lot easier for you if that's your jam. But we're just going to go over these rhinos again. This one looks a little frowny, but that's OK. So here we go. And here in a second, I'm going to show you how I'm going to erase this all. And it looks a little bit cluttered right now, but it's not going to. So we just go into erase. We're going to make this a little bit lighter. Yep, there we go. A little bit thinner, rather. And we're just going to erase around these trees. So we give the illusion that the rhino is behind the trees. A little bit of perspective here. You can always zoom in and make sure you get it clear. Define the trees. Make these little rhinos part of their environment. You can still see the sketches in the back, but don't worry. We're going to get rid of that. So then we're going to open the layers again. And actually, if you hit the little eye, you can just hide the layer that we did. So now you can see that the original sketch we did that looked a little bit rough is gone. And now here's our beautiful outline. So next, we're going to do a little thin brush to add some shadows. Adding shadows to your doodles is actually really, really easy. All it takes is just a few little lines. So here we go on his cute little tail and his little belly. A little bit of shadow under the kneecap there as well. So what we're doing right here is we're really, really simply adding a little bit of depth to these very two-dimensional creatures and still keeping it simple and very approachable. So shade that in there. Shade in his horns and his ears. These are the happiest rhinos. They're just grazing in the grass. All right. So just make sure that when you're adding shadows like this to your doodles that you have the same light, so everything is hitting at the right angle so it looks consistent, or at the same angle, rather. So then we're going to go over here, and we're going to click Save as Draft. save it as a rhino, click OK, and then our changes are saved. And we can come back and edit this whenever we want or use it somewhere else. If we hit that again, we can just hit Save Image, and now it's automatically saved in your phone, and you can use it whenever you want to. And so here's our little forest scene right before, and then here's what it looks like with some magical rhinos that are probably very lost, but it's okay, they look happy. So one of the most popular and easiest edits you can do in PicsArt is a double exposure. A double exposure uses the outline of one image and superimposes another into it. You've definitely seen this around, and now I'll show you how to do it within PicsArt in just a few easy steps. All right, so we're going to start with creating a custom stencil. So this is the first step to creating a double exposure. So first we're going to open an image. We'll use this image here of a woman. So we're going to open the free crop tool, which is in Tools in the bottom left. So it looks like scissors. And then what we're going to do is sort of just like other apps or other programs you might be familiar with, we're going to select the lasso tool. And so we're going to make a selection starting right here at the top. And we're just going to trace around her outline. And so just so you know where we're going with this is that this is actually going to be what we superimpose an image into. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't be too worried about that. And then in the top right, we just click Save. So now it's saved as a clip art. And so number 2 is we're going to apply the clip art in Draw. So this is the second step. So open up a photo in Draw, and we're going to use this beautiful photo of a beach at sunset. Hit Done because we don't really need to crop this one. All right, so then we're going to go to Layers, and we're going to select Color. So you hit the little paint bucket, and we're going to make this color white. So there we go. Click Done, and it looks like we just hit everything. Don't worry, it's going to make sense. So then we hit Add a New Layer, and we're going to hit Empty Layer here. And within this empty layer, the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to add a clip art. So hit the Add Photo button in the bottom, and then you can see my clip art here. These are the clip arts that we've created and saved. And you can see the picture of the woman right there. So we're going to use it again. So now she's on a white background. Don't worry, your beach photo is still there. It's just below the white layer. Make sure you crop out the bottom there. All right, she looks good. So then we're going to go back to the layer menu and then click the overlay and hit Zor. And so what that did is actually removed her from the white layer. So then we're going to hit the top layer and hit Merge, and then we're done. And so this is a really cool way to create images within PicsArt. You can do this with anything, any shape, anything you want. So then just to make sure that it doesn't look so stale, we'll go into Effect. And this time we'll do Pop Art. Ooh, I like the color gradient. I think the color gradient's going to look really good here. So hit the color gradient, and then here, if you click that little gear, you can actually change the colors. So we want something a little bit more sunset-y than blue and pink. So here we'll do a little bit of a fade so it's not as intense. But we don't really want the white because the white looked a little bit stale and sterile. So then we just hit Done. And then now we have this really easy photo that was a double exposure just by using a selection crop. Download at the top, and here it is. Beautiful. Now that you've seen the basics and some cool demos, let's take a look at some of our most engaging users and the content they create by combining a ton of these together. All right, so I'm going to go to my profile here. And in your profile, you can always collect your favorite images by adding them to a mem box. So I'll hit my mem boxes right here, and then Awesome Edits. So this is the one we want to go to. And so I'm just going to tell you guys sort of how these users did these images. So this was for one of our contests. He did the same drawn thing that we did with the rhinos, but he got a little bit more creative and maybe a little bit more appropriate by putting a whale next to the ocean instead of rhinos in the forest, but you know, whatever. So this next one was done with the halftone effect that we just used. So he used clip art to add a moon in there, and then the halftone effect to make this look like a really beautiful moonrise or moon set. Here's a really cool way that I liked that people used collage in a creative, artistic way. So you just have this little watermelon. It was really popular. It got like 516 likes. And then up at the top, you can see that it has about 24,000 views, which is awesome. This looks more complicated than it is. So what this person did is they just took a photo of themselves and then a photo of a hand. They cut out the hand, created a clip art from the hand, just like we did with the selection crop. And then they went into draw and drew the little string so it looks like she's a puppet. This is another use of the double exposure tool. So when you do double exposure, you can use all sorts of different overlays instead of just Zor, where you just cut something out. And this woman used a forest to represent her hair. This is one of my favorites. Then in our drawing tools, we sort of gave you an overview of how many brushes we have, but here you can see that the users used a ton of different brushes. So they use some stars here, and then they use a circular brush over here, and you can actually just draw those with your finger instead of having to tap each one, because that would get a little bit tedious. Over here we have someone that did another doodle. So she used some of our clip art, and then she also just had the pencil where she just went through and just drew on top of a photo. It's super easy to do. Anyone can do it. This one's one of my favorites as well. So remember in our very first demo when we used the clone tool to take out that little bottom part we didn't like, this person actually used the clone tool to erase his head. So if you take a photo of yourself on a white background or black background or just basically any single solid color, you can really easily use the clone tool to erase your head and where it was. Then he added an image in here, this time of exploding colors, and made that his head. So actually a really easy edit that looks really, really cool. This is actually really impressive. This guy drew this entirely in PicsArt by using our tools. So we touched a little bit on the doodling and the drawing tools that we have, but we actually have a much fuller suite of drawing tools for all of you drawers out there. And then what a lot of our community does a lot of the time is they'll actually show you the steps that they took to do this. So you can see in the description here, he gives you a video and he actually gives you a step-by-step. And so this is the sort of step-by-step thing that he uses. So he shows you all the different steps of how he created this awesome painting that you would have never thought was created within an app. And then we have this guy who actually used a mirror effect and a rotate effect on clouds. So to make it look like a little cavern there, and just added some clip art with balloons. And then last but not least, we have someone that used our text tool, which we didn't really go over, but is there to add a cool little caption to his images and, a little inspirational note. And, that's it. When you're starting out with PicsArt, don't be afraid to try anything and everything. Get inspired by following other artists and do things your way. You'll find that the PicsArt community is exceptionally supportive and helpful. If you do find yourself needing some more help, don't hesitate to head over to our YouTube page for a ton of great tutorials like the ones I showed off today. So I really hope to see you beautifying the world with PicsArt soon. And when you do, be sure to mention me. I'm @CarterG_PA, and I can't wait to see your creations.